Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey everybody, it's Jason from Power Rangers Time Force, and you're watching Toku Secrets Podcast.
Tokusatsu, taking the form of many shows including Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Metal Heroes. And today, a group of fans come together to review it for you as Toku Secrets.
Hey guys, Rizwan here from the Toku Secrets podcast produced by animesecrets.org. And today is August 28th, 2023, meaning today is National Power Rangers Day. It's been 30 years since the franchise began, and we've had a lot of fun celebrating it with, 30 years of Power Ranger goodness. And while we don't have a special episode to commemorate today, I did want to post this press interview we did at Rangerstop and Pop at Atlanta this past year. Nathan and I were in the press room with a bunch of other great people. Shout outs to Blurredography, JV vs. the World, and Carnell Hawley, and everyone else who was out there with us for the weekend and spent time with us in the press room. We really enjoyed having all of y'all together. So today I'm going to be posting our Mighty Morphin to Zeo press interview featuring Nakia Burisse, David Fielding, and the amazing Michael Gotto. They played Tanya, Zordon, and Young Tommy respectively, and we're very excited to get their insights on the franchise out there. So let's get into it.
So you went to UCLA, and you were one of 50 applicants, the only African American to make it. So what was your first year at UCLA like?
Yes, I was the only African American female. There were two of us. There was one African American male, Kirkwood. He was in. Here's David Fielding. Yay!
Hey.
He actually He starred in, what was the movie with Denzel Washington when he was a football coach?
Remember
the Titans. He was in that. Yeah. And I think he only did that for a short. He was in the business for a little bit and then ended up leaving. But how was that? Which part? Being at UCLA?
Yes.
In the theater department with just...
Yes.
You know what? I grew up in a pretty diverse school, so it wasn't very difficult for me. After I got in and I just checked out to see, like, there's 50 of us and I'm the only person that looks like this and he's the only person that looks, like, it was really odd to me, like, how out of 50 people are there only 2 black people sitting here? Like, how is that okay? But I, while I was at UCLA is when I booked Power Rangers. I was a junior and I didn't know what Power Rangers was because I was 21, I wasn't watching Power Rangers, I was literally too busy partying. I ain't even gonna lie.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't
That's what you do at
That's
21.
what you do. Actually, I was 20 when I booked it, and then I turned 21. So yeah, it was a great experience. Yes.
So with the Rangers being a family over the years, 30 years now, who has entered the franchise after you that you guys feel most proud of as a person? Like you've seen them develop as a Ranger, like how they've taken the mantle and run with it, or you just feel like, you know what, I'm proud of this person for what they've become.
Oh, gosh.
No one. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's great to see anyone from the franchise move on and do other things. I mean, the one that springs to mind most readily for me is Aaron Cahill. Aaron has been doing like all these Hallmark movies and stuff, and I mean, it's just great to see people continue to pursue what they feel that they've been put here to do. And I'm the kind of guy that's going to applaud them no matter what they want to do. So say a name to me and I'm like, oh yeah, they're great, they're terrific, So I think everybody that's been associated with the franchise has, they have the biggest hearts. They're all heroes in my eyes. So I love every one of them. So.
I would agree. Erin was the same person that I was thinking of. I'm pretty good friends with Erin, so I get to hear about all of her projects that she's working on and so forth. We have a few of us that have gone on.
And
to
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in every anime. I mean, he's part of Ultraman now. And it's like, wow, that's
He's part of Ultraman?
Yeah.
As of like today, I think.
When did that happen?
Today.
Like recently.
Wow, yeah. And Johnny and I were actually just sitting inside of the green room. We were talking about how, because we've all had a passion to do acting or some form of acting or producing or whatever. So we've both ventured out actually and started to film our own projects. And I just finished filming my feature film. I have a couple of reshoot days, June 27th and 28th, but it's the first full-length feature that I wrote, produced, and starred in, which, oh dear God, is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I was very, very drained, but it was so worth it to be able to employ people, to be able to do something that I really, really love. And Johnny just finished his first feature. Oh, sorry.
And I guess the running theme for that is you'll notice that all of us are involved in creating, right? And the act of creation, telling stories. That to me is like something that's so positive, so forward moving, because it's so easy to be destructive, but it's very hard to do something creative, to create something, give birth to something that's going to entertain or inspire somebody later on. And I think that's like the highest calling for me anyway.
Yeah. The question was, what was the question again? So that Michael can answer?
Right. The question was, for anybody who's coming to the franchise, past, present, future, whatever, who are you most proud of to see, like, in life, or just taking the Ranger band sort of run with it?
Oh, wow. That's a pretty deep question. First of all, thank you for having me. Sorry I was late. It's an honor to be here. Well, for me, it's got to be Jason David Frank. I saw him the last time at Power MorpherCon, and it's just a special bond that we have, being that I got to play him as a kid, and that's an incredible honor that I will cherish forever.
And he became a huge businessman, and some of the stories that he shared, when he first started doing cons, his lines were not what you would see today. He was at our show last year, and you waited in his line for 8 hours. Like, he literally was so resilient and was like, I'm going to finish until the last fan is standing. But he had very humble beginnings. And he was like, you gotta fake it till you make it. And so he would tell us stories, and I was like, what, Jay? Really? You had no, but I would pretend like I had people out there in the line. Yeah. And he grew like his own, well, as you guys saw, he was the most well-known Ranger.
Yeah.
By far. Everybody knew who he was. Yes.
So I want to start with a quick comment, kind of JDF story that I feel you guys may enjoy. So I lived near Houston most of my life, and they had a picnic nearby. And it was a cosplay picnic. They invited JDF down. He said, hey, I got to go to a con, but I'm definitely going to stop by before I go to the airport just because I want to meet my fans, no matter where they are and how, what they're doing. And that's always really touched me, that he could make his time, even with such a hectic schedule, to be out there. And then my question is for David. Your role is a little bit different than most actors in the franchise. Can you tell us a little bit more about the process you had to go through to play Zordon?
It was my experience was I'm not gonna mince words. I mean, it was kind of bittersweet because it was really cool to be cast in the show, especially since I had just moved to LA. I had only been there for a couple of months, and then I booked this TV show. But it was a disappointment to learn that they were not going to film me anymore after that initial day. So, very much like the character of Zordon, I felt very separated from the rest of the cast because I met them during the audition. They were there the day that we filmed, and then I didn't see them again for 20 years. I never got to meet Twee because she was cast after we filmed. I didn't meet JDF for 22 years. It was a very sort of Zordon-like experience of being a part of this show, but very separated from it. Mm-hmm. But it was a very interesting process because unlike a lot of the Rangers, I didn't have to go through several rounds of auditions to get the part. They brought me in one day, they said they were going to cast it that night, and the next week I was sitting in the chair being filmed for the part. So I felt that was very a lightning bolt of good luck, but I was also prepared to be there and do the work to get the job. So the best part about being Zordon is right now, because I get to meet with my friends and meet and hear your stories and continue, to produce the positive effect of the show. So that's my whole experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So is there any other seasons that you guys wanted to be a part of, or if you could go be a part of a season, what season would you be a part of, or anything in the future that you'd like to maybe be a part of?
It has to be Power Ranger related?
Yeah. Sorry.
That would
Dang
be
it,
more
I was going to be
interesting.
Wonder Woman. I get asked this question all the time. I really like Time Force. I really like the storylines, and that was the series that I probably watched a little bit more than the others. So I can't really honestly say because I haven't watched all of the other seasons.
Yeah.
So I would say Time Force.
I'm going to say Time Force as well, but because of Vernon Wells. I grew up watching Vernon Wells in The Road Warrior and Commando and other things, and the first time I met Vernon at Lexington Comic-Con, he was the sweetest, nicest person ever, and he remembers me every time he sees me, so I would want to be on Time Force simply to be around Vernon Wells. That would be
For me, it would have to be Zeo, and that's probably an interesting answer, but because I was part of the journey to find the Zeo crystals, but never officially on Zeo, it would be that season. The evolution.
Last
Come
question.
back as young Tommy, the young Zeo 5.
Oh, I love that. I think you had a question next. Carl?
As far as the Netflix special, not to speculate too much, but how would your characters be not introduced, but involved in the ongoing of that series?
Zordon?
Yes.
I found it very interesting that Billy was trying to bring Zordon back, because previously at other cons, whenever the discussion got brought back up that Zordon could come back, people were always very negative about it. No, it would lessen his sacrifice if we brought him back. So I was very intrigued by the idea that Billy was trying to bring back Zordon, and I think it would make for a very interesting twist to bring the character back, to see if he would agree with Billy's choice about that, or if it would go wrong like it did with Robo Rita, or if they would take it off in a different tangent. But as far as I know, nobody's reached out to me, nobody's contacted me about anything in the future, but you never know, right? So we'll see.
Thank you so much. Oh, we were just going to answer that question.
Okay.
Did you want to answer that question?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I'm going to take it in a little different direction. Maybe for me, playing young Tommy, there could be that part about playing JJ, the son. Tommy.
I thought that.
I was just thinking that, in my mind, man, he'd be a great JJ one day, and he says it.
Interesting.
That'd be the best Easter egg.
For me, I would have
Would
been
be.
unboxed.
Yeah.
I would have not been in my helmet and suit as a toy. I would have actually been in the episode. Word. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.